We're here again, Jay, Contractor's Corner. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know. Should I say thanks for having me?
I don't know. Right now, you're the star of the show. I'm just
Right.
showing up. We're going to be talking about what? Embracing virtual selling today. Is
Yeah.
that what we're going to do? Because it's funny, this came up, dude. On Friday, I was talking to Marco. Now, you don't know Marco, but he was in front of his customer's house. I'm on the phone with him. He's like, oh, no, I'm just in front of the house. I'm about to go in and see the job. I'm like, why the hell would you do that? Like,
Right.
oh, bro, this is how he talks.
Yeah.
Well, customers, they want to shake your hand, man. Like, they want to see who they're dealing with so they know. And I'm like, no, they don't. Not
No.
necessarily. Like, I haven't, like, that's bullshit. I haven't seen a job since before I had a contract, since 2015. Everything is online now.
Right.
Let's correct this, man.
Yeah.
I know you don't do it.
Well, we do and we don't. Okay. So here's the first thing that you have to understand is knowing who you do business with best. Okay. So let me give you an example of this. So if I'm selling $150,000 metal roof to a baby boomer and I'm trying to get them to jump on Zoom, that's not going to be a good connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, again, what we do is we qualify the hell out of them to make sure that they know our price. We do a lot of work before we ever go out. We never move our tires unless they're fully qualified. Okay. And we know specifically kind of the person that they are, and we sell to two different avatars. Okay. So avatar one is the baby boomer. It's their value system. So their value system works like this. If you work hard, you get somewhere. So come and meet me and I'll give you the job, right? It's their value system. They're not going to make purchases like that if they don't feel like that you provided the value to them. So, and a lot of them have already been sold. Like they know your sales game. A lot of them, again, that we're meeting up with, we know they're qualified. We know they want to move forward if we're actually meeting them at all.
Makes sense.
Now, there's this emerging group, which I've been selling to for quite a while, that wants the complete opposite. And guess who they are? Millennials. Down. Yeah. So their value system is show me an opportunity and then I'll work. Right. So they want to see a quote or they want to see you, again, kind of put in some effort first. And it doesn't mean meeting them. Right. So and a lot of what they're doing is actually you've got to work on speed and convenience. That's what they're looking for. Yeah. Right. They're busy. They have families. They don't want to meet a salesperson. The other thing that we found is they're a lot less social than baby boomers, Gen Xers, right? So you have to meet the customer where they're at, in my opinion, in terms of identifying them with you should always be, as quickly as you can, getting on a call with them, qualifying them, making sure that they're actually a sales qualified lead. I mean, that saves the majority of the headaches right there. And then seeing where they want to meet, right? I mean, making an offer to meet someone. If you're leaving it in their hands, someone will be like, hey, yeah, absolutely. Let's jump on a Zoom. Perfect. Right. Now, in our buying thing, majority of our customers are still baby boomers and stuff like that. So we do a lot of in-house sales and they get a lot of value from that. But again, just as easily, we're selling to millennials that prefer the digital meeting on Zoom at their convenience. And the way you want to look at it is you can do a hell of a lot more appointments that way. So if you're in a business where that's a possibility, even if you're doing discovery calls where you're meeting someone on Zoom and stuff like that, you can't go wrong. Especially with the CRMs and stuff, they can immediately set an appointment. They're getting immediate, gratification from that. They know they've been, taken care of. They have it on their calendars. So, we are in no doubt we are going to be all that way very soon because people are, we're in the post-trust era, I would say, where no one trusts anybody. All right. And on top of that, people don't like to be sold, right? Everyone knows what a salesperson is. Everyone has a negative kind of view of what a salesperson is. So why would, somebody that's, not as social as past generation want to have a salesperson come in and hard press them to sell a job? It's just not going to happen as often, right? So tell me.
They see right through it. I mean, like, what do we say to Marco? In this case, you know, he feels that that's where business is done. That's the only place that business is done. And we're missing over Gen X too. I don't want to just go, because
they're in the middle. They're both sides, right? So like they can go either or. I find they're a tough bunch to nail down.
Yeah, they want to make you work for it, but they want to make it easy for themselves.
Right. They're kind of the ugly cousin. I don't know. They're in that weird group. You know, some of them are really, again, it depends on their lifestyle and, you know, if they appreciate it. A lot of blue collar, you know, guys in that group still want you to come out and meet them, right? And rightfully so. They're making a big decision, whereas, you know, someone in the, you know, the more professional, you know, executive level does not want to have those meetings, right? And they're used to jumping on a Zoom. So again, we're seeing a good mix of it, where we see the majority of the advantages coming from with having a digital online presentation is, don't think it's doing the sale. It's everything that happens before the sale. It's what gets you the call into the house. So guys really mess this up, and they go, first of all, they don't qualify. They don't know what the difference between a marketing qualified lead is and a sales qualified lead. I see that all the time. So a marketing qualified lead is somebody that has no urgency, no, you know, desire to solve their problem right now, and is just looking around, shopping, you know, it's doing research. What happens is these guys, a lot of guys don't recognize that or don't have a system to pull that out, and they try and go out and hard sell them.
Yeah.
All right. That's a terrible, terrible disaster. Like it doesn't work out. Right. So part of it is, okay, well, this person is in the research phase. Let's identify that. And then through small clips of media, you know, we can use emails, we can use text, we can use all types of ways to make our offer, warm the client up, provide value, provide that, you know, education that they need or that they're seeking. And then you're the valued source. You're showing up to that call and you are the trusted. They're comparing all the other quotes to yours, right? And if they're jumping on Zoom, it's really just to meet you, and it's like, let's go ahead with the job. So like that's a totally different sale, and nobody does that kind of stuff, is where you're nurturing your leads. You're nurturing them between all of the, you know, the touch points. So again, they call in, they book a call. What happens between that time and the time you go out to meet them, or that time and you get the quote to them? If you're not filling those gaps with quality content and educating them and, you know, having them become offer aware, you're leaving opportunity all over the place. And that, again, your presentation could be broken down into 8 small pieces of content that people can consume in a way that's convenient for them.
Yeah, I like that, Jay. I mean, most of the sales process shouldn't be done in front of the client anyways, right?
Right. Like well, that's dying away. It's not going to be a thing. Like the in-house sales, the hard sales, like all that stuff people really don't appreciate. They don't like to be sold. So don't sell them.
No,
right? Don't sell
give
them.
them the information and nurture them to get them to the sales process. That's where it's, you know, it's the most fruitful right there.
Right. Well, and you're guiding them. You're guiding them to making a decision. So again, it's recognizing where they are in the buying decision tree, right? And I would say a lot of, you know, again, if you're a smart marketer, you're marketing much lower in the, you know, in the place where people make decisions. And, you know, the best way I can put this is, you know, somebody that's doing research may not be, you know, they may be problem aware, but not solution aware. That's why they're researching, right? They may be neither. They could be neither problem or solution aware. They're just looking around, right? Like think of your home shows and stuff. Like how many people go there that are neither problem or solution aware? And then you have, you know, only 3% of the market that are actually ready to buy now. That's where marketers and, you know, companies get it wrong, is that, you know, they're fighting for that person that's problem and solution aware. And guess what? They're going to everybody else too, right?
Don't you wish that every customer that came to you was ready to buy?
No.
Already made their decision?
No, because that would be the most expensive lead. And then I would be put into a group of all the other guys that are, and it would be so hard to differentiate even with a strong offer. I'd rather have more time to have them sit in my marketing qualified pipeline where I'm nurturing them. And again, think about it. If I could have 8 sales conversations with you instead of just 1, how much more of an opportunity do I have to close?
I appreciate that, actually.
Right?
Yeah, because every time you have an opportunity to build a relationship with them.
Well, it's building a relationship. It's staying in touch. It's showing appreciation for the opportunity. There's, again, it's coming to this concept that we're moving more and more to a place where people, the people that are aware and that, want to solve their problem, you got to move fast on those. That's why I say, like, speed to lead, everything else. When you're taking leads from that 3% ready to buy now, guys, I mean, if you're running ads, if you're doing that's directed to generate leads. So it's a leads campaign. Mm-hmm. You have a very limited window of time to make an impression with them. And usually what happens, 78%, I think I've told you about this, 78% of homeowners deal with the first person that responds to them. Okay, that's they buy from the first person. So most contractors really they shit the bed on themselves because, listen, they get a lead, they screw around for 2 or 3 days, maybe if they get back to them at all, right? And then when they call them, they try to hard sell them. What is wrong with the relationship there? It goes from, hey, barely nice to meet you. I didn't give you the time when you first reached out, but let's get married. Come spend 50, 60 grand with me because I'm the best. And then you stand there like an idiot with egg on your face. Like, so is the other guy and the other guy that came along. They all told me the same thing, right? So we get into these situations where, you know what? I much rather start my journey with them earlier, months ahead. Because I've had months of warming that prospect up. And you know what ends up happening is that they don't trust anyone else by that point if I'm doing it properly, right? So again, think about your digital presentation as being bite-sized. Like, look at the way we consume content now. What's changed? We got TikTok. We have so much noise and distractions. But that's right. The behavior of the clients are changing as well. And we're seeing it, ramping up year after year after year where, again, in the future, what I believe is going to be more the status and more the norm is, like I said, it's going to be, really looking at that client journey and understanding, when, where, why, and how to reach out to someone. And again, with all the technology that's available, like we know when someone's opened an email, we know when somebody's touched a proposal, we know all that, and we time our engagement. So here's a good example. We don't touch a lead until they've had 9 points of contact.
So right? You're assigning a value to their engagement.
Engagement score. That's it. We know where they came from. We knew which content they touched. We know by the content they touched how serious they are. Okay, so think about it. Somebody that's downloaded one of our lead magnets for a buyer's package of making a decision about a metal roof and is clearly in a research phase. So is it appropriate to go out and hard sell them? No. No. All right. I'm going to nurture them. So only after they've opened 2 emails, right, and they've actually opened that document that we sent them. All right. Will we reach out and soft touch? Right. Soft touch is, hey, you downloaded our research. Just wondering, if you're closer to making a decision, if I could help you out with, any questions that you had. Now we're going to time that within 5 minutes of them opening that document. Boom. Somebody's calling. Why? Because they're thinking about it now. It's speed and convenience to them, not to you, to them, right? So when they are thinking about something, that's the time to call. Right. If you give it another 25, 30, 40, 50 minutes, well, now they've moved on to something else, and maybe they moved on to looking at somebody else's information. So again, with these systems that are available nowadays, like the game has really gone from, the hard sales, hard nose, like we're going to go out and just, tin man it, to a much more sophisticated approach where it respects the client journey, where it's built on client journey. And the reality is if you're looking at, sales presentations, yeah, you can do sales presentation on Zoom. There's a million different ways to do it again. But really where you need to have your mindset is, how do I take what I used to have as a sales presentation and ditch the pitch, right? Get rid of it. Let's not do it. Let's really understand our customer, their wants, their needs, their values, and then reach out to them in an appropriate way that resonates with them and builds authority and trust in your brand. If you can do that, you won't ever have to sell a thing in your life, right? It's all gonna be order taking, okay? Because you've given the social proof, you've done all the right things in a way that doesn't, cross the line. It's, we'll call it courtship, engagement, like, you're moving through the relationship tree, all right, without ever having to meet the client directly. And who's that to a benefit of?
So right? Marco's fucked.
Well, a lot of these guys are going to, well, again, here's the scary part about it. Okay. I want you to think of how many more sales I can acquire and how quickly I can acquire them by having a system like that in place. Now try and compete with that. If I don't ever have to spend time out hard selling people, all right, first of all, my revenue is going to be a lot more steady than Marco's, right? Nice guy. Also, what you're going to find in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, a lot of the way that we do business now will change dramatically. It's been changing the whole time. I've seen these changes happening, well, easily since 2015. I've been seeing it accelerated through COVID. All right, I've seen people more open. People all know what Zoom is now. Like we're very much going to a digital economy. Like you would have to be absolutely out of your tree. Like I don't have to go out and estimate roofs anymore. We do all that over like satellites and everything else. A lot of the type of sales will be less. It's going to be more relationship building. Okay, and here's kind of my take on how I feel about it is the people are still going to want some sort of relationship. Yep. Whether that be again when they do give you that chance, the face to face of but you're going to find that it's going to be a lot quicker to the point. All right. So millennials, again, totally different buyers. If you're over a half hour on your sales conversation, you've blown it.
You lost them.
We've lost them. But with a baby boomer, anything less than 2 hours, it's, and we see it over and over again. It's a 2-hour round the table conversation. And again, there's still a big market for that, depending on what you're selling, but it is starting to go, down. And the more the blue collar position you have in the market. So if you're selling to the middle class, blue collars, again, a lot of that type of sale is becoming more difficult, right? It's becoming more competitive. It's becoming more, it's hard to stand out, right? So again, you have to make these adjustments now. And I feel like the future will be delivering, like I said, your sales presentation and what you have to offer, more in a marketing position, right? Delivering it in small bite-sized pieces, delivering it at the right time, right place. Like, again, we're moving to that speed and convenience, Amazon-like experience. People will decide more, when they're ready than when we go out and do hard sales.
Well, it's incredibly powerful. Like when you're tracking the sales process and you're tracking where people's headspace is at, by the time they get to the table, they're already buyers.
Well, they're already buyers before they even call you. That's the point I'm making, right? So like when we make these calls, that's what I mean by order taking. So like, again, even big time roofs, like I've got a couple of examples where we've sold, $150,000, $200,000 roofs, never met the owner, right? And it's because we meet them. And think about it. Like we are going towards that day and day. Even grandma's buying off Amazon today, right? Even grandma is. So that tells you that people value speed, convenience, their time, their place, validation. They have less time. I mean, again, it's look at all the distractions we have compared to 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Like, again, people are, they're busy. Their minds are consumed, and you have to meet them at their level, right? If you're not meeting them at their level, then you're going to lose a lot of opportunity. You're going to lose a lot of deals. Now, you could still probably scrape by, but the guys that are killing it are making their offers convenient for the customer to consume, quick for them to make a decision. And remember, we were brought up in a different era where people now do most of their research online before they ever call anyone. They've already made the decision. They've already decided based on your marketing or the look or the referral, whatever. So the guys that are really going to crush it are ones that really have that online presence, that validate their offers, that have social proof and all the things that we have become accustomed to looking for, good, Google reviews, all those kind of things. All right. And we're giving them a very good client journey, right? Think about it. How the reason, high pressure sales is so difficult and closing is because you're going from a perfect stranger to, I'm going to spend a lot of money with you in like that. It's never really been a great system. It's never been a great process, in my opinion. So how do we reduce that and, take the sales part of it out, take the stress of the sales, reduce the sales, overload with it. And again, like I said, we've been extremely successful both ways. All right. But we're definitely seeing more and more validation towards, again, an online digital world where it's make it easy, make it convenient, keep your keep your offers clear to the customer, right?
Yeah, I guess to be clear, this isn't like a world that's coming. This is here. Like we have the
This is here now,
technology
yeah.
right now. You know, your competitor could be using this and
Guaranteed.
right.
Guaranteed.
And if they're
Guaranteed.
not, you should be.
Right.
At the end
So
of the day.
I always say this, you know, championships are won by inches, right? So, I mean, the guys that have really thought about these things and that have worked through it, and, you know, it's not just getting leads. Leads are the last thing you add to a sales process. And in fact, most guys are out there looking for leads when they can't close the leads they've got, right? They don't know what their customers really want. They're trying to be everything to everyone. Well, again, if you don't have those things straight, like what we're talking about is like, it's not even worth, you know, having the conversation.
Yeah. This is funneling the perfect buyer at the time that they're ready to buy.
Right. Well, and here's kind of for guys out there that are progressive mindset and that want to grow, there's never been an easier opportunity or time in history, period. All right. Than there is right now for acquiring a customer. Think about it. There's not less than 5,000 data points about you. If you have a Facebook account, there's 5,000 data points about you that algorithms use every day to target you with ads and marketing material. Okay. Like the reality is, I mean, to acquire a customer, the exact customer you want, but here's the key. You can't be, I want this big, broad topic. And that's where guys really mess it up. It's understanding, hey, you know what? I only sell well to millennials. They have these type of behaviors. They have these type of habits, these types of, you know, things that they want, and then focusing on them. Because again, once you can get it, you know, clear, if there's one, there's hundreds, right? Be in your niche, be in your, you know, in your market and understand that client journey. Because again, it's rinse and repeat after that. And that's that is the, you know, that is how companies are dominating, right? They understand their client better than the client understands themselves. And why? Because all that data that we're putting out to the world is free for any marketer to, well, not free, but is available for any marketer to exploit. And that's why companies are exploding. Like, I mean, at some point, contractors have to be like, why does one company, you know, do 100 million when the other one struggles to do 100,000? Like, what's the difference? And it's, I'm telling you what it is.
Why am I not him?
Right.
Or her?
Well, and again, I think a lot of contractors, you know, they get to this point where they decide that they want to do operations and they're operators, right? But when it comes to the marketing and sales, it's like this mystery box. And then they leave it to a marketing agency. And, you know, most of them, I would say 90% of them are absolute bandits. They're going to, you know, and anybody out there, you'll know my rant against lead generating companies, you know, those annoying ones that say, hey, I'll get you 25 leads. What you don't understand is that most of those guys, they do know the customer avatar. They're going after the broadest market, but they don't give a shit about the quality of the leads. They're not going to tell you to nurture them. And to be quite frank, they don't want you to actually exceed or excel because they're selling those leads to everyone else.
Yeah, they don't have services to sell you at that point.
That's right. Right. And again, if one guy is just cleaning up all those leads, what's it do to the rest of the pool of leads that are being generated to the same guy? So again, if an agency goes out, runs a marketing campaign for 6 companies, okay, and they generate leads for those 6 companies, and one company only ever gets wins the sale, what would be your option at that point? You'd fire the company that keeps winning all the sales, or you would lower their lead. And that's exactly what happens. Okay. So again, don't buy leads from, you know, lead generating agencies. Don't buy leads from Angie's List. Don't buy leads from those guys. Think about it. At the end of the day, the effort and energy you're going to put into, you know, developing your offer, getting clear about your customer, all right, is a multi-million-dollar achievement. Okay. And anybody can do it. Any contractor can do it. It's well within their wheelhouse. After that, all right, a good offer, a good client journey, good experience will scale. You could have the most mediocre marketing going, and it's still going to scale and it's going to do well, right? Understanding that customer, I mean, that's the name of the game.
So, I mean, we've been pretty clear about, you know, why we should embrace virtual selling, but what about the how?
Yeah. So the how is, again, this is the, I guess, the fun part. So if you need help, yeah, I'm not trying to sell you anything. But if you're struggling with the tech and the technology or the vision or the view, jump in a call with us. I'll give you the 9 steps that you need to take immediately join our free class. I'll teach you them however you want it to be, or you can just get us to fix the problem. I can bring my systems, my team, we drop it in, we fix your problem. We help, make those adjustments so that you become the leader in your market. It's really a decision that easy, because at the end of the day, if you're trying to fix your own marketing, that's going to be a tough thing to do. I mean, again, think about how long it took you to learn your trade, right? We're talking about literally learning a whole trade and multiple of trades at that, copyright, funnels, like there's so many aspects to it. Don't be the architect, don't be the builder, right?
Nobody's ever done it alone.
No, nobody.
This is why we're here, right?
Exactly.
And now next week we have to figure out how we're going to top this topic, because this is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, think about your digital sale, right? If you could take your whole sales pitch, break it down into, a client journey, bite-sized pieces, bring them through an entire experience with you, you're going to be able to do that on autopilot. Like, how much more time could you spend operating that business, managing, the key things in your business, or, hey, taking a vacation? Because, I still make sales being on vacation. I make sales sitting here. The sales are continuous, right? We don't have those big, drops and falls in revenue, and this is how I'm doing it, right? So
yeah, I'm going through this journey as well with Tile Services Canada. Like I want to learn. Like, this is absolutely amazing. Like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong, dude. I feel like it's not fair.
Right. Well, and I get that a lot. See, that's so funny you say that, because all the customers we've set up that have done really, been really successful, they've come back and expressed that to me. They're like, dude, I feel like I'm stealing. I'm like, you are, right? Like you're dominating a market. And a lot of it comes with some responsibility as well. So when you do figure out the marketing side of things, think about it, right? Like if you could acquire and close a sale on command, what's your problems?
Exactly.
What issues do you have that are so difficult you can't solve? You got to be profitable. Okay, great. So by the way, recruitment and hiring for those guys out there. Oh, I can't get the guys. Well, guess what, guys? Identical, same thing. Everything I just told you, turn it to hiring and recruiting, and bam,
which is
literally word
around.
Yeah. Right.
And it's
if you're not doing them both at the same time, and guys just don't see that. Like, you gotta have a system nowadays for that. That doesn't take your time, and you can have all those things where it's just on autopilot. Like, it's all about creating opportunity and how you seize it and how quickly and consistently you're doing it. And again, we got lots of customers that are, enjoying the benefits of it, right? And staying ahead of the competition, that are now getting to dictate the pricing in their market and that have real impact. For the guys out there bitching, oh, I can't get my price, I can't get this, I can't get that. Well, hey, are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution, right? The solution is you need to be, if you're a top contractor and you deserve to be in that spot, and you can't market and you can't sell.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're not here to convince everybody else to do it. We're here for the ones that are actually looking for the solutions.
That's right. That's right. And the solutions, when you do get them in your hands, and again, it's game changing, right? And you'll never look back at, traditional selling, because just the time that it requires, the effort, the energy, the people power. Again, anybody that's relied heavily on a closer, when that closer leaves, what happens? Your business goes bye-bye, right? Like you're putting yourself up against that and you're relying on hustle. All right. Stop relying on hustle. If you want to rely on systems and processes that, allow you to use average people and produce extraordinary results. All right. Go system wise, go marketing wise. If you want to, rely the rest of your career on hustle. All right. Then hard sales is your ticket. But know this, you lose that salesperson or you stop hustling for a day. What happens? Is that a business at all? No, that's a hamster wheel. Now you can even have best of both, right? You can be strong in sales and strong at marketing. Now that's a devastating combo, right?
100%.
Right. Those are the $100 million companies in our market, though. Right.
Yeah. Well, let's get our community there, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's $100 million companies in our group yet to be.
Yeah. There's going to be $1 billion contractor very shortly, which is is boggling for the mind to think about. Like, how many of you guys out there?
What a billion is?
With a B, like a B, a billion.
It's 1,000 million people. That's
right.
Crazy.
So,
crazy.
I mean, again, guys, like the money's there, the opportunity's there. There's no less opportunity. There's more opportunity than there's ever been. It's just a matter of how you seize it and the speed of which you have to move to seize it. Right. So,
changing the game. We're not cheating at checkers.
Yeah, we're not cheating. That's right. I love that.
Let's do this again next week, brother.
All right. We'll talk soon.